There's a lot of news coming out last night about the fact that big tech is really taking over the control of the media. They're trying to stifle a lot of opinions, and it's a little bit scary. What should our view be on this entire situation?
Well, you ask difficult questions. We have a general view that has been our view, I guess, literally since Maimon Har Sinai, and more specifically in the close to 2,000 years of the Golus. And I think that view hasn't changed and shouldn't change. We don't know what's happening. We have no idea. We have a sense of what we would like to see, but in reality, we don't know very much. And even when things seem clear, it's only an illusion. So we have to revert to our basic core philosophy of life. And I'd like to suggest something that the Maharal says pshat in two famous stories. One, the famous story of Rabbi Akiva, where he couldn't get into the city, and then his donkey was eaten by a lion, and so forth and so on. Had to stay out in the forest, just to make it short. And each time he said, Kol ma de'ovid rachmanu l'tavovid. Everything Hashem does is for the good. The next morning he saw the city was attacked and everybody was killed, and it was a very good thing that they didn't allow him a place to stay. Then the Maharal also discusses the Gemara in Tightness of Nochamish Kamzu, the Rebbe of Rabbi Akiva. And the Chachamim sent him with a box full of jewels and precious stones to Rome, to the Caesar, to placate the Caesar on behalf of the Jews in Eretz Yisrael. And on the way, Goyim changed it and made it into, put a box of dirt in there. According to the Maharal's Giros in the Gemara, it seems that he even knew that. Gamzu l'toiva, gamzu l'toiva, gamzu l'toiva. He gave it to the Caesar. Of course, the Caesar is ready to kill him, and who knows what to do to the Yidden in Eretz Yisrael. Then all of a sudden, Eliyahu Hanovi appears as one of his ministers and says, maybe this is the dirt of Avram Avinu that turns into arrows when you shoot it, when you throw it at your enemies, and everything turns around the good. And the Maharal explains that when we have bitochen in the idea that kol ma de'ovid rachmanu l'tavovid, we know intellectually, and we internalize emotionally that everything Hashem does is for the good, and we know Hashem does everything. He's in control of everything. Nothing happens without him. Leiv sorim v'malochim biyad Hashem. The hearts of princes and kings is in the hands of Hashem. And once we know kol ma de'ovid rachmanu l'tavovid and gamzu l'toiva, everything is for the good. In the schus of that bitochen, not just the intellectual awareness, but the emotional internalization, everything is for the good. Gam zu l'toiva, that in that schus, Hashem takes what seems to be apparent ra, and we're certainly living today with so much apparent evil, and he turns that in that merit into what's clearly and obviously to everyone good.
How could we apply that to exactly? How could we apply that to what's going on in the world today?
Well, I think we have to look at everything, no matter what it is, and sometimes because it's very scary, that's even helpful. Because when things are not scary, there's a pasuk in Mishlei that Rabbeinu Yoina brings at the end of the first parak in Brochos, B'yiras Hashem miftach oyis. Through the yira, we come to the strength of bitochen. Because if there's no yira, there's nothing to be afraid of, so we're complacent, we go on, and we forget about everything. We don't focus on Hashem, we don't focus on problems because we don't sense them. But when there's fear, when there's what to seriously be concerned about, that leads us to a strength in bitochen. So as these problems appear more and more, and as we become more and more concerned, we should parlay that, we should transpose that into a greater sense of recognition that everything Hashem does is for the good, v'gam zu l'toiva.